So Ohio State just delivered exactly the kind of performance everyone expected in their 70-0 rout of Grambling State, a result that definitely confirmed the Buckeyes standing as the top team in college football right now, without giving in to the temptation of overreacting to a lopsided win against an overmatched opponent. Yet this game still was far more than just a numbers exercise. It provided a showcase for a few specific players and some promising signals about Ohio State's direction moving forward. From the opening snap, it was clear Grambling State was outmatched both physically and mentally, and financially. Ohio State responded off the Texas win with an explosion of speed and physicality, scoring on 8 of their first 9 possessions and not punting until the fourth quarter. Grambling, in contrast, only managed to cross into Buckeye territory once and failed to score after missing a 36-yard field goal attempt. And man, I just felt bad for the kicker. That was his chance to make one at Ohio Stadium, something he probably dreamed of all his life. So in this video, I want to talk about this game, what some of the takeaways were, and just storylines going on with the Buckeyes right now. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. Alright, so the headline story of this game was Julian Sayin, who erased any lingering doubts from his debut. All in all, I thought people thought he played well in that Texas game, but there were a few that did not, and he orchestrated one of the most efficient first halves in school history. Sayin opened the game with 16 consecutive completions, a record, finishing the day 18 for 19 with 306 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. He showed excellent timing and command of the offense and anticipation, and that 87-yard touchdown pass to Jeremiah Smith was phenomenal. I mean, the defense didn't even guard him. It was like those kids were completely overwhelmed by the presence and the fact that Smith was on the same field with them, which I don't blame him, but it was the second longest touchdown in Ohio State history. And look, I know Julian was supposed to dominate this game, but literally he played to perfection. At the end of the day, the secondary he went up against was still D1 players, so it's not easy to go basically perfect, but he did. He hit every window, whether it was tight or wide open. He proved he is capable of leading this offense to its highest potential. This was one of those games where if the Buckeyes wanted to put up 150 points, they probably could have. All offseason long, I talked about the new running back tandem of CJ Donaldson and James Peoples, who were replacing the champs in Judkins and Henderson. But actually, this game really opened my eyes to the possibility of using the freshman in Bo Jackson, which, I mean, come on, that name itself should tell you all you need to know. But that game really made me think that it's possible for Bo to get more opportunities throughout the season because he looks like he belongs out there, and honestly, his ceiling looks just as high as any of the other backs in the room. Jackson rushed 9 times for 108 yards, averaging an impressive 12 yards per carry, and capping his night off with an 11-yard touchdown in the second half. His vision, balance, and ability to find holes added another dimension to the Buckeyes' ground game in garbage time. And I think this showing really shows he could become a key weapon as the season progresses. This was more than piling up numbers against a weak opponent. Jackson's style and composure were definitely encouraging signs. The tight ends in Will Kismarek and Jelani Thurman also showed versatility throughout this game and contributed in both blocking and receiving. Kismarek caught the opening touchdown pass and Thurman added 3 receptions to the total stat line. I really think throughout the season, with those two and then Max Clare, who did not need to play much due to the unfairness and talent, will be a big part of this Buckeyes offense. And throughout the last decade, Buckeyes offenses really have not used their tight ends a lot, but I think this is the season where that could change. I know there is not much to take away from the stats with the receivers because this was like an older brother playing against his little brother in a backyard, but Smith had 5 receptions, 119 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Tate had 5 receptions, 69 yards, and a touchdown, and then the 2 tight ends I just talked about both had touchdowns. Now for the defensive side of things, also as expected, the defense was suffocating, pitching a shutout thanks to that missed field goal with a few individual rising stars from the pack. The linebacker and Riley Pettijohn specifically put on a show, not just with tackles, but with impact plays in different phases. He had a forced fumble and several key breakups that underscored Ohio State's defensive depth. The corners and safeties played fast and aggressive, with Caleb Downs making an interception, and man, he just closes on a defense so fast. He closes those corners so fast, and then Caden Curry got a sack. The younger Buckeyes also got significant reps in the second half, and there was no drop-off. Ryan Day was clear in the postgame that the focus of this matchup was not simply running up the score, but testing this offense's tempo, tight end versatility, and seeing how young talent responded under pressure. Bo Jackson's performance has already sparked some calls from the media and fans for more carries. There is still some concern that is lingering with the defensive end production, as some of the vets have yet to really make a mark, but this Grambling game offered optimism with Curry and other guys making some plays with limited PT. Alright, so that's really all I want to talk about with Grambling State. I tried to make up a few takeaways from that game. Really, when you look at things as a whole though, that game was just a schedule filler. There are no takeaways. But next week's game should be obviously another blowout, but it's against Ohio University. And if you know the backstory to this matchup, Ohio's mascot, the Bobcat, tried to assault Brutus for some reason, and that mascot got banned. I mean, the guy in the mascot got banned, and he apparently had planned it and hated Ohio State. I think it's kind of funny, to be honest, but that's the backstory, and Ohio is coming off a big home win against West Virginia, where they set their stadium attendance record. So this is a good Ohio football team. Obviously, compared to Ohio State and the talent they have, it's no match. But this is a game that will be under the lights. Should be a fun matchup and fun atmosphere. Let's take a look at some of Ohio's players and who the keys to the game will be. The first key to the game will be Ohio's quarterback in Parker Navarro. He's a senior leader who has earned some recognition for his performance in the first 2 games of the year and just his overall experience. In the first 2 games, he led a competitive offense for over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Rutgers without throwing an interception, and his efficient passing and ability to keep drives alive are the backbone of the Bobcats' offensive attack. The Bobcats have a strong running back in Banjura, not sure how to say his name. I couldn't find anything online about it, but he started strong with 100+ rushing yards against the Rutgers, averaging more than 6 yards per carry, and his combination of speed and size makes him the centerpiece of the run game. Now for the defensive standouts, they got Michael Molnar. He's a linebacker and was named MAC Defensive Player of the Week in Week 2. He racked up tackles and made key plays in both outings so far and helped to limit West Virginia's offense. Then they got Chase Wilson, also a linebacker. He posted impressive stats in the opener with 7 tackles and 2 sacks, 1 interception and also a pass breakup, and he showed impact in both coverage and blitzing. And then there's Fred Perry, the safety, who recorded 10 tackles and a sack and 2 pass breakups early, and he's an important enforcer for them. Now for their top receivers, they're led by senior Caleb Gassett, who had multiple catches and always provides consistent production, especially so far this season. And then they have a junior who also is kind of a deep threat. I forget what his name is though. I'll have to do more research on that. In week 1, the Bobcats lost a close shootout to the Rutgers. The final score was 31-34. Navarro threw 3 TDs and Banjura topped 100 rushing yards. On defense, Wilson, Molnar, and Perry all posted big numbers, including sacks and turnovers, helping Ohio stifle West Virginia's offense in week 2. So for the Buckeyes, the game plan is pretty simple. Stick to what works, attack early and often through the air, get the ball to Jeremiah Smith, and once you're up by 3 or 4 touchdowns, just run the ball and tick away time. It should be a fun night and fun environment at home. It's not often we get to see Big Ten games at night. It's 2 Ohio teams. My main message is to just go out there, have fun, both the players and the fans. That's really all I got for this video. Overall, dominating win against Grambling State, and I'm still impressed with what the Buckeyes were able to do and how the defense shut down Arch Manning and the Texas Longhorns in week 1. Let me know what you thought about this video in the comments below, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe because your support truly means the world. And until next time, I will see you all later.